Our session will be a bit different from the ones in the past. We will be asking questions, and we would like to have feedback from other sides as well. So Mr. Cunningham will represent the other sides when the students pose the questions, and then we can carry on the dialogue. So without further delay, let's hand over the time to, would you like the microphone? Okay.
With the quick pace of modern life, most people don't have enough time to make their meals by themselves. Thus, quick foods has become an important part of life. So, what do we mean by quick foods?
Quick foods are foods that can be made within a short period of time, including the entire process of preparing ingredients and cooking. How long does it take to make quick food?
Generally, quick foods are made within 15 minutes. People can make it quickly, enjoy the delicious food, and hurry off to work.
Quick food play an important role in many countries. Nevertheless, in other countries, not many food can be made quickly. These are the subjects we will discuss today.
There are two questions we'd like to ask everyone. First, is quick food an important part of culture in your country? If yes, raise your green card. If no, raise your red card.
Okay, it seems that most of the students in Taiwan raise their red card and just a little bit raise their green card. And Mr. Cunningham, what do you think about this question? Okay, and could you share your opinion to us?
Well, you know, society has changed, and it was back in the 1950s in the United States where most families would go ahead and eat at the table, you know, all eat together. Now today, most people will eat in front of a television, and if there's 5 or 6 people in the family, there may be 5 or 6 televisions, all of which people are eating, and they may be eating different foods. So the typical housewife of 50 years ago would be maybe not even employed and be making lunches and breakfasts and dinners and stuff for their family. And then today, where many of the people in the house, mom and dad and the children are all working, it pretty much is dependent upon fast foods. So I know even with my grandchildren, fast foods is one of their most popular type of food, or quick foods.
Oh, well, thank you for your sharing. So it seems that in the past, most of the family is together on the table. However, in the modern life, there are so many reasons that the family can't eat together.
Right.
Okay, thank you for your sharing. So anyone who want to share your opinion? Okay.
Well, can I
in
ask
Taiwan,
a question? How many people in there eat together with their family every night?
In my family,
in here. Okay, so
in here.
So the question is, do you eat dinner with your family every night, or does your whole family eat dinner together? If yes, raise your green card. If no, raise your red card. The whole family eats dinner together every night.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks
now,
like,
Mary, the next question would be, how many of you eat the same foods when you eat with your parents? Or do they prepare different foods?
Are you eating the same dinner, the same food?
Well,
wow. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Is that about the same situation in the USA or not?
They've done a lot of studies in the last 4 or 5 years, and a typical family, you know, depending on how you know, a lot of times even older children are watching younger children, the parents are working, and sometimes the older children are actually working to help the family out too. It's you kind of eat in shifts, so everybody may eat dinner that night, but they will eat different foods. So I would say over 50% of the people in the United States would eat different foods.
Okay, and we also have a student want to share his opinion. Go ahead, please.
I think that quick food is not an important part of culture in Taiwan. The reason is that Taiwanese food are not quick to cook. We usually have rice and noodles, and these take time to cook. For instance, fried rice takes about 30 minutes to cook. Fried noodles take about 20 minutes to cook. And sesame noodles take about 10 minutes to cook.
Okay, thanks for your sharing. Although there are just a little quick food in Taiwan, we don't actually need to cook ourselves because there's a food stand near our house, and we can just get the meal by walking 5 minutes and away to the next corner, and we can get our meal. Yep. Okay, and let's move on to the next question.
Now let's take a look at the second question. Quick food is usually unhealthy and high in calories, like junk food. If yes, raise your green card. If no, raise your red card.
Okay, almost all of the students in Taiwan raised their red cards. And Mr. Cunningham, do you say yes to this question or no?
Yeah, that's a kind of amazing question because in some cases, the United States has gone to a lot of quick foods that are actually pretty good for you. There's a lot of people doing keto diets. There's a lot of people doing, like pepper sandwiches instead of bread sandwiches. So there's a very healthy kick for some people here in the United States that can actually make fairly quick food. So I think it's a double-edged sword, but traditionally, if you look at the McDonald's or you look at, some of the fast chains, the purpose of that is not to make good food or is to make money for the company. And they make money for the company by putting out a product that is, makes the most money for them. And then in tradition, that would be not really good for the person to eat. So I do agree with you is what I'm saying, but I think the trend is actually changing somewhat, and we're having a large group of people coming in that are very concerned about their health.
Yeah, so now indeed more people would care more about their health. So quick food stands they have to adapt to this kind of fashion. So they will often make new products which is more healthy to encourage people to buy their products. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Then
and we have students want to share his opinion in Taiwan.
Great.
I agree that quick food is high in calories and unhealthy like junk food. Quick food is made within a short period of time, and it also makes people feel full easily. So it is usually high in calories. For example, instant noodles are high in sodium.
Yeah.
Hamburgers and French fries are high in calories and unhealthy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ramen noodles will scare you if you look at the sodium content. The sodium content is like about, 1,000. I was looking at the other day, and I like to watch a lot of Asian dramas, and everybody eats ramen noodles. But the problem is, I guess that would actually kill you. And there's been a bunch of stuff about Facebook about how bad that is for the food and how it doesn't digest, doesn't process in your body. So you have a lot of problem, not only just the sodium, but you have it's processed so fast. The process is so hard that it doesn't even digest in your body. So it's really a double-edged sword.
Yes, that's very true. And that's the one agree. Say yes to this question. And we have a student want to tell us why he thinks quick food isn't usually unhealthy and high in calories like junk food.
Yeah.
I don't think quick food is unhealthy and high in calorie because quick food are made with natural ingredients. Since it is eaten and not need to be preserved. For example, salad, it is consists vegetable and a little salt and oil. The another example is sandwich. There is no cooking. It is usually freshly eaten.
Thank you. And anyone would like to share your opinion?
Yeah, Michael, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, you know, I think he's got a really good point there. The idea, especially like if you take walks and you can cook very quickly your vegetables, that would be absolutely, it would fit in the definition of quick food, and it would actually be very low in calorie and very nutritious for you. Now, what has happened is because of the processing of a lot of the food and the shelf life, the preservatives and other things, you know, like we take sandwich bread, the traditional sandwich bread of 50 years ago, it would only last you about 1 or 2 days on the shelf. Now today it lasts you 3 or 4 weeks. I think the idea is that the food has changed. So if you could actually cook your vegetables yourself, or grow your vegetables yourself, or get organic, and then you could do it very quickly, there's nothing really wrong with that. Do you think?
Yes.
Maybe ask your
Yeah.
group how many people eat vegetables like in a walker, you know, that very quickly for a quick.
For a meal?
Mhm.
Okay, so how many of you eat like boiled vegetables as part of your main meal or main dish?
Or
No,
stir
boiled
fry.
vegetables is not or stir fry, yeah. But stir fry, actually, we may want to debate on that. Some stir fry ones are not that healthy because too much cooking oil is added to it, and also a lot of salt and monosodium glutamate.
Yeah, but I would say if you were doing the stir fry yourself, you wouldn't have to add that. It could
Right. Okay. So
it could be quick food, and it could be good for you too. I think that's what
Okay, so it's
that
all
gentleman was saying.
yeah, it all boils down to how you make it.
Right.
So, do you have boiled vegetables as a meal, even occasionally or normally? 有没有在吃烫青菜？健康的烫青菜。
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, your friend in the front there, he goes to the stands, he doesn't get his boiled vegetables, huh?
Okay, so you see that actually in Taiwan, a lot of vegetable is eaten. I think in comparison with the States, students are not that, you know, I think a lot of kids in the States, they really hate vegetables from what I know. And it's not that, you know, serious in Taiwan. They would actually prefer fried meat and food to vegetables, but they don't actually reject the boiled vegetables or stir-fried vegetables. So you see a lot of green pieces of paper held up now just then.
You know, Mary, they were talking about, do you guys have cauliflower?
Cauliflower?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And cauliflower can be ground up, and pretty much you can use it as a flour. They put in for pizza crust. They can put in for bread. It has very little carbs and stuff. So it's gotten to be a craze around here. And I noticed the other day that Weight Watchers, Oprah Winfrey, one of our famous TV hosts and stuff here, had bought out Weight Watchers a couple years ago. And they made pizzas with the crust that is from cauliflower. But you can make cauliflower French fries. You can make stir-fried cauliflower. It's delicious, but I think it's much more popular, and broccoli and some of the other things are much more popular in your part of the world than it is here.
Yes, that broccoli is it's seen more often here than cauliflower. But we also have cauliflower. Cauliflower 是那种白色的花椰菜，然后 broccoli 是比较就是绿色的花椰菜。Okay. Yeah, so I think that's a smart way to get people to eat vegetables. I mean, make it into the food, the existing food that you eat, and you don't actually taste, the vegetable itself, and it, goes well with your diet. It's a smart way to, increase the intake of vegetables.
Yeah, because in the States here, you can't make money off vegetables, but they can make money out of selling hamburgers, or they can make money out of selling something else. So the key is in a capitalist society, you have to try to make money out of something. So they hadn't really found a corn stand or a pea stand that can make the same kind of money as a hamburger stand.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. It should be geared on what's good for the body, not necessarily what's good for the bottom line.
The taste bud, probably.
Okay. Anyone else want to share your opinion about the question? Quick food is usually unhealthy and high in calories, like junk food in Taiwan. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I disagree. And some quick food like sandwiches, you can depend on yourself what ingredients you want, and you can add more vegetables if you like. Thank you.
Okay. And now.
Anybody else would like to share opinions regarding this question?
Mary, I think you brought up a very good point. I don't know if I can expand on it, but I've been getting recipes from people all over, and there's some recipes that came from the Mediterranean area where you take a pepper, and then you would put, you make your sandwich, and then instead of having two pieces of bread, you have a large pepper and you cut it, and then you would eat the pepper as the bread part. And it cuts down your caloric take quite a bit, and it really adds up the nutrients. So it's a very tasty substitute.
Do you mean as in like green pepper?
Yeah, they would be red or yellow or orange peppers, but it would end up being the same type of idea. But they slice it. And in Turkey, they do a lot of stuffed peppers. And they cook them, and they're absolutely delicious.
Pepper, 青椒, yeah. Okay.
But it's like a bell pepper. I don't know if they sell a lot there in Taiwan, but they're very huge. But they could easily be cut to make a sandwich, and you could get about the same size of a sandwich, or you could actually get like lettuce wraps. Lettuce wraps are very popular here. You take although we've had recall on romaine lettuce lately, but you take a lettuce leaf, and then you roll in whatever you have for a sandwich, and you could eat it, and you even put vegetables in it, and it's got a third of the calories, and it's very delicious. It fills you up.
Yeah, we also have lettuce wrap here, and the bell pepper, that's also common here, and it's usually stir fried.
Mm-hmm. But I've never seen it as a sandwich until, that's actually a pretty good idea, because I've loved stuffed peppers for many years. So I thought I might try a sandwich with a pepper.
Thank you for your sharing. And does anyone have anything else to share? Yes, go ahead. Could you come to the front? Yeah, sure. Come to the front.
Oh, I can just speak loud.
Okay.
Okay, you have to actually speak real loud.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. In my opinion, I think quick food is not necessarily. I think quick food is not necessarily unhealthy and high calories like fruits and like apple, bananas. It takes only a few times to cut it. And I would like to know, do people in America eat fruits for a meal?
Fruits?
Like fruit salad,
Like only
Yeah,
cut fruits.
Yeah, fruits are very popular in some cultures. It's America is a very interesting melting pot, and depending on where you live in the United States, you can get fruit almost any time during the year. It's like currently we're getting a lot of our produce and stuff from we'll start getting a lot of produce from South America or southern Mexico, and you can pretty much get produce throughout the year. When I grew up, it was a lot different, and everything had to be grown. You couldn't get different types of fruits. But at any store, any major store here in the States, a grocery store, you will see a large, maybe 20% of the store will have fresh fruits. Now, if you go to the same type of store in Mexico, they may be almost 45% would be fruits. And many people will shop in Mexico. They shop every day. And then even some of the big cities like New York or Chicago, they'll shop every day. And they will buy fresh fruits for their family on a daily basis. Well, here in Texas, most people will shop once a week or once every 2 weeks because, we have cars and driving around. But if you have to take a subway or a bus to go to the grocery store, most time you just shop on a daily basis. And then your refrigerator, you may not have a freezer. Your refrigerator will be about the size of a dishwasher. And you really can't store much more food than on a daily basis. So I think a lot of that would depend on where you live. A lot of people will eat fruit, salads and stuff like that for lunch. That's extremely popular, fruit salad or even salads with fruit in them. And a lot of people have gone to a lot of fruit for breakfast. And it would just depend on the season and what kind of fruit. Now, it also depends on what kind of ethnic group you're from. And in the United States, a lot of people have gone real crazy over pomegranates. Pomegranates are really good for you. They'll drink pomegranate juice for breakfast, or they'll eat pomegranates throughout the day.
Okay, thanks for your sharing. And I would like to know, how about you? Do you eat fruits for your meal?
Oh, okay. You asked me about fruit. Oh my gosh.
How about you personally?
If you ask about me personally, I used to drink a fantastic amount of orange juice every day. I won't tell you how much, but it was really, I thought orange juice was really healthy. I have learned through the doctor that was probably the worst thing ever for me. My blood sugar went up to something fantastic. They were going to put me in the hospital because they thought I was going to go become a diabetic and going to be knocked out. So I told the doctor, well, I'm drinking 1.5 gallons of orange juice a day because I thought it was healthy. And that was really, really bad. So when I did away with that about 7 months ago or 8 months ago, I dropped about 40 pounds and my blood sugar and stuff went down to normal again. So I'm kind of staying away from fruits because the sugar and the fruits really kind of did me in. I had no idea that a lot of the fruit had additional sugar. Now, natural sugars and stuff would probably be a lot better, but I was just drinking the juice part instead of the fruit. So there was a personal story of mine that it like to really scared me to death because when they told me what my blood sugar was, it was fantastically high.
Thank you for sharing your experience.
Yeah, well, it's not great, but sometimes I think people can get overboard. I'll just put it that way. Everything in moderation is probably much better.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you for sharing your personal experience because that's actually inspiring. I mean, 40 pounds, that's really good progress.
Oh. Yeah, well, the funny part about it is I kind of done away with breads and I've done away with a lot of sugars. Now, you don't really notice how much sugar is in everything until all of a sudden you start looking at the breakfast cereals, a lot of things that have, and even milk. Oh my gosh, tremendous amount of sugar goes into a lot of things. So, I don't think sugar is really good. And then when you look at high fructose corn syrup, that doesn't even digest in your body. So there are some tremendous things. Now, I wouldn't prescribe this to too many people, but I think natural fruits in moderation are really good for you. I just don't think juice would be good, and I don't think the sugars and the corn syrup and stuff is put in the products are really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a bit translation, Michael.
Yeah.
If that's okay, yeah， 有听懂哈？就是他个人的经验，就是他以前都以为柳橙汁，而且外国柳橙汁已经是算有很多都是100%，柳橙汁是很健康，所以他就大量喝，一天喝1加仑，真的不知道怎么喝的，1加仑是像汽油桶这样那么大1加仑这样。然后他后来就住院这样，然后就跟医生说喝那么多柳橙汁这么健康，怎么住院？医生说这样你喝柳橙汁那都是糖，都是很不健康的，就体重也增加，然后又快糖尿病这样。所以他戒掉那之后减了40磅，40磅多少公斤？算一下这样，40磅，他减了40磅。然后就是减少红肉的摄取，还有那个果汁，他说很多果汁加果汁，或者是这真果汁就加了很多糖进去，然后加了很多的那个什么防腐剂，什么那种点那种就是人工色素那些等等，所以其实很不健康。这部分有听懂吗 ？OK， 好，来 ，Yeah，thank you for your sharing. I wanted to get the message across because that's very positive way of encouraging people to like decrease their amount of reds and juice intake, right?
Yeah, I think that juice would be good. I also try to stay away from milk, but that's just me.
Milk?
Yeah, milk actually it's got a tremendous amount of sugar and it's got a lot of other issues that you shouldn't probably be drinking. But and I grew up in a dairy state, so that was what got me in trouble. I used to drink a gallon of milk a day because I thought milk was really good. Well, there reaches a point in time in your life where milk probably isn't that good. So then I decided, well, I'll drink orange juice instead. And that's what got me in a lot of trouble. Water is really the best thing for you.
Yes, so you drink a gallon of a lot of things.
Yeah. Now I drink a gallon of water, so this is good.
Okay. Proceed. Yeah, go ahead. They're going to share some recipes with you.
Yeah. Quick foods are common in many countries. However, there aren't many quick foods in Chinese and Taiwanese culture. This is because almost all meals in our culture need to be cooked.
However, we don't have to cook ourselves because there's a food stand just around the corner and we just need to take a 5 minutes walk away and then we can get a quick meal. Although we don't have much quick food in Taiwan, we also have some quick to make food. And we will introduce 2 of them. First is cold noodles and second is cold omelette.
Cold noodles are noodles rinsed in ice-cold water after being boiled, and then added some sesame sauce. The sesame sauce can be bought in traditional markets and supermarkets. It takes about 12 minutes to make 1 serving of cold noodles. Ingredients: 40 grams of sesame sauce, 600 grams of cold noodles, 1/2 of English cucumber, 1/2 of carrot. Equipment: 1 pot, 1 peeler, 1 grater.
Directions: boil a pot of water to cook noodles. Then peel the carrots and grate the cucumber and carrots. Next, put the noodles in boiling water, and after the noodles are cooked, drain and rinse them into cold water for 2 minutes. Lastly, drain the noodles again and mix in the sesame sauce, cucumber, and carrot pieces. The cold noodles are ready to serve. And we have actual food. Here you can see the sesame sauce is mixed in the noodles. And here we put grated carrots and pickled cabbage. We replace the cucumber with pickled cabbage because actually the ingredients are depends on you. Yeah, don't have to be cucumbers. And next, we will introduce omelets.
Taiwanese omelette can be made in a short period of time with simple ingredients such as galette, egg, and soy sauce. You can also add many different kinds of ingredients. As Western cultures bring to Taiwan, cheese and bacon are also popular choice of ingredients. Here is how to make a simple Taiwanese omelette.
Ingredients: an egg, a piece of galette. Here is a piece of galette, some cooking oil, and and a spoon of soy sauce. Directions:
Now they're gonna actually do the cooking.
First, put some cooking oils onto the cooking pan sparingly, then spread the galette onto the cooking pan evenly. Wait for a minute or two for the galette to get done, and then flip it.
Okay.
How long should we wait?
Usually 1 or 2 minutes.
So we're gonna do nothing and wait 1 or 2 minutes?
No, we've just done to make the galette, so we can skip the direction and go keep on to the next one.
So did you just beat an egg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they just beat an egg?
After that, crack an egg onto the galette and wait for it to get done.
She cracked it onto the pan, onto the galette.
Uh-huh.
You can actually have many ways to do it.
Oh.
This is one of the ways.
Uh-huh.
So you can crack the egg.
Onto it or on the pan.
And Mary, she put it on top of the egg, right?
Yeah, so I was just saying that there was a contradiction between the actual action and the directions.
Right.
The directions told us to crack the egg and put that on top of the galette, and but the person who was cooking actually had the egg in first, and then afterwards the galette in on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And well, we should wait until the egg is done and then it's almost ready.
What's a galette made of?
What is the galette made of?
The galette is made of
milk, egg, flour,
shallot and
shallot.
What is a galette made of? Does anyone know? 那个皮什么做的？大米。面粉的 flour,
salt,
Okay.
salt and flour,
and shallot.
Yeah.
and shallot.
Some shallot.
So Mary, it would be like a tortilla in.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, very thin type.
Right.
Are you sure you're not gonna burn that?
Where's the fire department?
So as you probably guess that these kids don't actually cook at home, and for this presentation they had been practicing it, various times. And it probably turns out different every time, I'm guessing. And I'm not sure if it will be edible. 等一下可食。
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, you have confidence. That's good.
That's really good. But you don't ever have to turn it?
Mr. Cunningham asked, don't you need to turn it now? Not yet?
We need to first make sure that the egg is cooked, and because we want the egg to stick to the galette, so the two ingredients they are not separate. So she might need to wait a while for so that she needs to be sure that the egg is
Can you
well
tilt
cooked.
it so that we can see it? Yeah. She
Yeah.
didn't burn it. See, she just
No, no.
flipped it and it wasn't burnt.
That could you put vegetables in that too?
Can you also
Yes.
add vegetables?
You can add cheese, bacon, vegetables, anything you like.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
You can basically add anything you want inside.
I think they meant those weenies. I think that's what you call them. Wieners.
Like
The small ones,
Small
not the actual real big ones.
yeah, like Vienna sausages or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
There are various type
Now,
taste of the omelet.
are these sold at stands in Taiwan?
Yeah, and they are popular breakfast choice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
people eat this for breakfast.
how much would this cost? I mean, if you bought it at a stand.
How much does it cost?
If you want an original flavor one with nothing added inside it, then it's about 20 to 25.
NT dollars.
Yeah, NT dollars.
That's under $1 US.
Yeah,
Probably 80 cents, I would say.
Yeah, and it seems our omelet is ready to serve now.
Finally, roll and wrap up the content, and the Taiwanese omelet is ready to serve. And we add some soy sauce
Soy sauce.
to enhance the flavor.
Now, is it any kind of secret soy sauce, or is it just your soy sauce is the same as ours? Is it?
I am not.
We don't
sure.
know what kind of soy sauce you have, so we don't know if it's
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I guess you.
So what are you doing now?
So you can see she's trying to
Oh.
roll the
wrap
galette.
up the
Wow. That's really beautiful.
And so now our galette is ready to serve, and it is perfectly edible.
Oh yeah.
If anyone likes to try it.
Probably. No.
It should be delicious, I guess.
Seems.
So this one is just with egg, and as they just told you, you can also add other ingredients.
That looks good.
Great.
Thanks for your attention. Do you have any questions?
No, we have similar things like that with breakfast tacos, and you can get egg, bacon, cheese, or egg potatoes, or egg and sausage and stuff. But that looks really, really good. You did a good job.
Oh, you did a good job.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. And the mic.
Well, I'd like to know other breakfast shopping and how just eat breakfast at home or at fast food shop.
Well, and Mary, I couldn't hear the question. What did you say?
Again?
Yes. I'd like to know, are there breakfast shop in America, or you just eat with at house at home, or you eat breakfast in a breakfast at a fast food shop?
Fast food shop breakfast.
Did you get that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, do you have breakfast shops or breakfast stands at where you live, or do you eat at home or go to fast food restaurants?
Actually, I eat at home every day because I eat oatmeal every day with some bacon in it. But my wife a lot of times will stop at at a place to go. And in our part of Texas, it's very popular to go and get like breakfast tacos, which would be very similar to what you made there. And in the breakfast taco choice, they would have a tortilla, which is very like the galat. And then you would put either bacon, cheese, eggs, potatoes, or whatever. You'd fill it up with stuff, maybe some jalapeno peppers or serrano peppers in it, and then eat it. And that's a very common breakfast. Now, another common breakfast quick food would be donuts. Although donuts are not as healthy and are kind of gone way down. So the donut places are selling other things that are a lot more healthy choices right now. But in our part of Texas, probably because of the influence of a large amount of Hispanic people, breakfast tacos would probably be the number one choice for quick breakfast food. And you will actually see people selling tacos, little stands all over the place. Now, remember in Texas, we're not as, I live in a suburb of Austin. You know, there'll be restaurants that will open up at 5:30, 5 o'clock, start selling breakfast tacos. And then there'll be stands not too far from our school that will be selling breakfast tacos. And then there'll be food carts that sell breakfast tacos too. But in the urban areas downtown, there's a lot of food carts and places that will sell food like that.
So the tacos, are they with the crispy, I would say chips on the outside?
Just a second, I'll show you something.
You have taco with you now?
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's early in the USA now. But...
This is the advantage of actually, okay, this is, this,
Oh.
that's the package it comes from. This is what one looks like.
Oh,
Okay.
Just like.
So do you still have to cook or fry that?
Yes, yes. These you would cook just like she did. You would warm them up, and then sometimes they would put in. You see a package of this. It looks like little sausages.
Oh, that's sausages. Looks like sausages.
And then we have like salsa. Salsa is very popular, so you would put salsa, which is tomato based. Take a look. And so so when you cut, I actually go in my kitchen here and it would show you. So demonstration, but that's one thing that you could. That's very popular. That type of food like that would be, and then a lot of times they will cut potatoes and probably fry them. And sometimes they mash them up and put them in there with that. And then there's like regular pork sausage too, that they would put in there. But that would be pretty popular.
Thank you. Anybody else with another question? Or did you want to ask another?
Stands. I'll be right back. Go ahead. Keep on going.
Yeah. He needs to refrigerate those food.
Great.
Anybody else with a question, or do you want to ask another follow-up question? No? Anyone else with a question that you'd like to raise for discussion, or yeah, go ahead.
Are there any kinds of quick food in America?
Oh yeah.
Quick to make food, yeah.
To make food quick. Let's see. Would kind of depend on what your ethnic background would be. My parents, my mom was Norwegian, and they would make a lessa, which would be just like galat, but it's made out of potatoes. And then, believe it or not, they would put potatoes inside the potatoes. You know, they make potato bread and they put potatoes inside that and put bacon and stuff. And that was the fast food for breakfast. In other cultures, we use, I was trying to think. They use a lot of different things. It's really sad. Now, some people have just gone to just drinking coffee. Designer coffees are very popular for breakfast now, even with kids, many people your age. We have a Starbucks almost on every corner. You could go out and buy a coffee or whatever the designer coffees du jour of the day. And the coffees are so expensive that a lot of times people just drink the coffee. Well, if you look at the calories and stuff and the sugar in the coffee, that, you know, you're drinking probably in that coffee enough calories that would take up for a whole meal. I don't know if that answered your question, but I was trying to think of some other things that you could see. Roasted corn, it sounds weird, but they still have places that will sell roasted corn, probably more for lunch, but that would be a breakfast type of food as well. I've seen the breakfast tacos with corn tortillas, a little bit different with change. A lot of people like hash browns here. If you're in the southern part of the United States, they will eat grits, which is from hominy. And they would eat that and eggs be very quickly, but very few, and biscuits. Biscuits are very popular, you know, making biscuits fairly quick, but nobody really does it from scratch. They probably just buy it from a can and then fix it. Very few like really home cooked, elaborate meals anymore.
Yeah, that's what we went over when we were talking about this question. So what is actually quick food? If it's not made from scratch, is it actually, does that count as quick food? Because like you said, a lot of things are bought from cans and then probably just heated or bake it real quickly. And so we actually discussed that part. Would that be considered a quick food that you made or someone else made? And does that, you know, also qualify as, you know, homemade? Probably not homemade. Okay, I think homemade things would be things made from scratch, right?
Right. Yeah, my daughter makes beautiful cakes, and she'll make everything from scratch. And then, you know, then you could buy a cake. Well, if you make everything from scratch, you can really tell the difference in the taste and the quality. I mean, I hate to say it, but you have a lot more quality control. Everything here has gone to like microwaves. We have a tremendous amount of stuff to just pop in the microwave, and you know, there's breakfast, tremendous amount of breakfast microwavable stuff, and it's probably not good for you in the first place, but it's probably it's quick, you know, and that's what people are looking for. They're looking for convenience, but the trade-off is that you may not want, especially young kids, you know, when you're 50, 60 years old, you may end up with a lot of problems because you depend so much on the quick food all your life.
Well, thank you very much, Michael, Mr. Cunningham. We really enjoyed talking about this issue with you because we got a lot in-depth and very insightful sharing information from this interchange. I don't know about you, but the students were really thrilled because they could understand you almost all through the process.
Oh, wow.
So your English is very good. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and what's really sad is, even though my family came from China, like I found out my last family was in China in the 700s. I can't speak any Chinese, and they don't really look Chinese, but I guess that from Hardy
How
Road,
long ago? I mean, is that your great-grandfather or even longer than that?
From my grandfather's side, his family, they came from China in around 700, and then they married into Persian families, and then the Persian families marry into Armenian families, and the Armenian families marry into some Greek families, and the Greek families marry into French families, and the French families marry into English, and they came here. But make a long story short, I got really interested in a lot of international cuisine because I was trying to find out more about some of my relatives.
Thank you so much. The students were really amazed at your family tree.
Yeah, well, what's really kind of blows your mind is that much of us are a lot more connected than what we think. And a lot of times here in the States, we kind of think that we're insulated for some reason, and we're not really. And we're all basically cousins if we just, and some of us just don't know it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Michael, for connecting with us today. And do you have any more questions for my students or anybody else here?
Oh, I'll ask a quick question. What did you learn from doing this?
What did you learn from doing this? Okay, so actually we can ask the active participants, those who have prepared for the presentation, and then we can ask those who are here and they are not the presenters, but they also actively participated in the video conference today. So I think we can ask both groups of students. So we can start from the presenters. What did you learn from the process of preparing for this presentation?
Now for cold noodles, we actually learned this from the internet because cold noodles, this kind of meal, we actually buy this in a convenience store in Taiwan or the traditional market. We don't, only few people made it at home. So if you want to make it at home, like in my family, in my home, we don't really make it. So when I asked my mom how to make it, she just said, I don't know, you just buy it in a convenience store or traditional markets. Yeah, so actually it is from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, and yeah, another presenter, what did you learn from the process?
I learned a lot, and I finally got to learn how to like lead a conference, like know when to talk and when to cue another person to talk, and then finally how to react to the questions or answers, like sort of this.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the things that we almost never do here, is that the students will lead a discussion, especially in English. So it was actually a bit of a struggle at the beginning. And I think the gentleman did a good job because they overcame the obstacle and was able to lead the discussion. So it's a good job.
Thank you.
How about the other presenters?
Now, Mary, this is the camp kids, correct?
Yeah, and quite a few of them are. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask them, what did they learn from the camp?
Okay, yeah, you can talk about not just what you learned from this session. What have you learned from the camp? Because this is second day. It's a 3-day camp, and this is our second day. So far, what have you learned? So that also, the question also applies to others. What have you learned in the 2 days that you are here? Or you can answer what you have learned from today's session or from preparing for today's session.
For example, we have courses about how to. We have a course that we are planning for a catwalk. Yeah, and so we have to learn how to do makeup, how to choose the clothing for the occasion, and we also have to know how to walk down the runway because we have the music and we have to step on the beats, and it's really much harder than it seems. And yeah, so we also have other courses like just this morning we made some food from different countries, and it was really great to have everyone cooking together and enjoying the food that we made ourselves. And we also have mock trial course, which we will very soon be presenting tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, good. You
Yeah,
gonna
we
be
have
an
a very
attorney? Are
Yeah.
you gonna be? Are you gonna
Are
be
you
an
going to be
attorney?
the attorney?
I was an attorney last year.
Oh, good.
Remember we didn't go up against you when she was the attorney. We went up against Australia.
Oh, good. Now we got the people from Iran on.
Hi.
Hi. 你是面孔小朋友会在那地方。Hi, I'm Kimia from Sabah School, and I'm here to give you a speech about fast foods and advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
Just wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, I'm just going to share.
Okay.
The first question is about quick food is an important part of culture in my country. Agree or disagree? Which I'm going to agree. And the second is quick food is usually unhealthy and high in calories like junk food, which is going to be agree. Some people might think that, but it's about the first question, that some people might think it means eating a lot of meat, but of course vegetarians wouldn't agree with this. They think eating a lot of cabbage or salad is good for you. Well, naturally, cabbage and salad and meat can all be part of unhealthy eating, but healthy eating means two things. One in eating balanced diet, and the other is eating right amount of food. In my opinion, a balanced diet means eating a variety of foods, including meat, vegetables, fruits, cereals, and dairy foods. Obviously, the amount of our consumption and the food we eat is more difficult to decide. It depends a lot on how active we are. These days, people are so busy that they don't have time to go shopping, so they end up buying fast food at the last minute. Another reason people don't eat well nowadays is that it's actually cheaper to buy food already prepared in packets. So people who haven't got much money will buy packet food rather than cook something fresh. According to this information, per capita consumption of food outside the houses is more than 25 servings per month, and the lowest price per meal or fast food is between 12 and 22,000 tomans. Tomans is Iranian currency per month. And by comparing this consumption, it shows that Britain and United States are on the list of food buyers, especially fast food, and they use more fast foods than Iran. According to this Iran Center of Statistics, the fruit consumption per week is 13.8 is a numerical unit that is registered. Experts say that contribution is reasonable in last 2 years and shows the quality of health. But this year, with the growth of prices, this contribution has declined because the devolution cost people with the minimum income, they would have to spend it on their livelihoods. Per capita milk consumption has reached 37 cups. That shows that it has declined. And the number is steadily decreasing with the rise in the price of beverages. These three last slides are about the second question. According to the reports by the World Health Organization, WHO, cardiovascular disease is a rapidly increasing health problem that is the leading cause of death worldwide. The prevalence of CVD in Iran is high. Most people have at least one of the risk factors for obesity, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and atherogenic diet are common risk factors for CVD. Poor diet is considered one of the main causes for CVD. Some studies have shown that to a large extent, excessive consumption of fast food is responsible for decreased diet quality. Over the past decades, fast food consumption has increased worldwide. Fast foods are quick, convenient, relatively inexpensive, and liked by people of most age groups. However, fast foods have high calories densities, high content of fat, sugar, and salt, larger portion sizes, and palatability, all of which lead to weight gain and metabolic abnormalities such as insulin resistance. Studies have indicated that fast food consumption may be associated with a risk for CVD. These studies reported that consumers of fast food have higher intakes of energy. In recent years, although fast food consumption has increased drastically among Iranians, the data on fast food consumption in Iran is limited to assessment of the association between fast food and weight in children and adolescents. These results are inconsistent. Results of other studies which indicated that fast food consumption was associated with poor diet quality and decrease in dietary intakes of whole grains, legumes, dairy, fruits, and vegetables as main sources of essential nutrition and health promotion components is one of the undesirable consequences of increased fast food consumption. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Taiwan, do you have any questions?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to ask a question?
So you mentioned that quick food is actually a very important part in your culture. Then how often do you eat fast food, quick food?
Personally, I don't eat much of fast food, but like twice a month, once a month, I think.
Then what kind of fast food would you normally pick?
In Iran, we don't have McDonald's and stuff, but we have chicken and, normal things that it's worldwide. I don't know.
They don't have McDonald's in Iran.
No.
But you have Kentucky Fried Chicken, correct?
Oh, really? Oh. Is there a reason?
Maybe political reason, I don't know.
I think.
Any other question? Yeah. You were gonna say?
Sorry?
Yeah, I would say, Mr. Cunningham, you were gonna say?
No, I would
No.
too closely associated with a certain country to keep McDonald's there, I believe.
Huh.
But
The students are wondering, if Kentucky Fried Chicken can get in, why can't McDonald's get in? McDonald's, what's the main difference or discrepancy between these two enterprises.
Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken has a huge presence in India and throughout the whole Middle East. It's very strange. McDonald's is more closely associated with the United States government for some reason. So a lot of times when the country's not necessarily on friendly terms, that McDonald's doesn't go in.
See, we never saw McDonald's political at all.
Well, I think it's associated with a lot more politics than you know. It's an association. I'm not saying that they're doing it. I just think the governments do.
Wow, that's news for us here. Any other question for Iran or Mr. Cunningham? And we always cherish the opportunity to connect with Mr. Cunningham from USA and also with students from Iran. Now, normally you don't get to, especially Iran, you don't get to talk to anybody from Iran, right? Yeah. So, rare opportunity. Any questions you would like to ask about Iranian culture or anything else?
Yeah. I'd like to ask a question. I'll start off. In Iran, what is a common breakfast food that is popular in Iran that's quick? We're talking about breakfast food.
Yeah, we eat cereals, egg, tea, bread and cheese, like, yeah, jam, butter.
Bread with jam and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got tea. Yeah.
Yeah, we eat tea with cheese and bread. Yeah.
Any question? Any question? Final questions? Yeah, go.
And to students in Iran. Thank you.
Go ahead with the
Thank
question.
Yeah, anybody else? Iran, you're also welcome to ask our students questions or ask Mr. Cunningham a question. And there's a multiple site connection now, three-way multiple site connection. We can ask each other.
Saba, if you could you turn off your sharing, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How can I?
Anybody else want to ask a question?
Mary, you might could explain to the people at Saba exactly about your camp.
So, hello, I'm the teacher. I am holding a camp this year for the students. Actually, we have been doing this for the past 10 years or 11. And each year, the camp centers on various topics. Like we want the students to be connecting to peers around the world through video conference. So 2 major events, or sometimes 3, will be the video conference courses. So one of that is today. One of those events is today. So we are connecting with sites around the world to talk about food and culture. And tomorrow we're also connecting to Canada and talking to another school. And also we also like to have the students develop their confidence and also enhance their communication skills, and also work on their critical thinking and negotiation skills. So like this year, my camp is a leadership camp. So we want the students to have confidence in what they do and when they speak. And also one of the students was talking about the the catwalk and the runway. The walking the catwalk, and the runway is because the course is centered on teaching them how to dress for success. So different occasions, appropriate clothing, and how that goes with you, and also your makeup and everything needs to be inconsistent with the occasion that you are in. And so that is also part of the learning objective of this year's, session. So a lot of, debating and also discussions and also teamwork, building the teamwork and also effort activities as well. So it's a very intensive training and course for the students. So that Mr. Cunningham was asking, what did they learn? They actually are learning a lot, and they, I will say some might feel even overwhelmed, but we're trying to consolidate the activities and make them fun learning, and also hopefully they can get a lot out of it. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I know Saba, you might want to talk a little bit about your school uniforms there. You got those nice Taiwan shirts.
Yeah, so the school uniform consists of two parts. I don't think anyone has the formal suit uniform on right now. And also there's a school sportswear where the students have the whole suit of sportswear to put on if they are taking the PE class. And we also have a shirt that is designed by the students, and it has the Taiwan design in front. And we always wear this one when we are video conferencing. It actually, when the students are talking and you zoom in on them, then it's quite clear which country you're connecting to.
Thank you very much. Now,
thank you.
Could you tell us, you're going to have to leave in a little bit, but could you tell us a little bit about Saba School so the kids can know a little bit more about your school?
Yeah, sure. My school is and we have different topics like math and like I think every other places in the world. And we have special uniforms because, as you know, in Iran it's compulsory to wear hijab. This is my scarf, and yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, I'm willing to ask.
Yeah, you go to an all-girls school, correct?
Yeah, it's separated from boys.
And how many people are at your school? How many students?
I think about how many people? 500.
Okay, and what type of career do you want to do when you get older?
Yeah, I want to be a pharmacist.
Okay, and tell the kids in Taiwan how hard it is to, what do you have to do to get into college in Turkey and around?
Yeah, it's a little bit too hard because in the last year of high school, you have to study so hard to get into 3 top subjects like pharmacy and medicine, and the other one dentistry. And for that you have to study so hard, and you have to take an exam. It's called concours. And you have to get, if you have good enough grades, then you will have the access to go to the university.
Thank you so much. Saba and Karat both do very good job, excellent jobs. In fact, we're going to be talking to the lady that used to be at both schools, and she's moved to Toronto, I think later in the week. She's doing a project with us as well. So very excellent schools. Mary, do you have any more questions or anything? If not, we can end it. Mary? Taiwan?
So, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Do we have any more last questions before we end today's session? Anybody? Final call for questions.
Okay, if not, thank you so much, and we'll see you next month.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank you,
much.
Michael, thank
Bye.
you, Iran, bye-bye.
Bye.